great T-halves alongside their CT half. There is no real weakness here, which is one of the reasons why they're so potent. Yeah. And as you can see, ladies and gents, we're into it. The semi-finals between Nip and Astralis. First pistol round coming up. Let's get it indeed.
Let's get it.
Sure, that's what Nip are going to be thinking to themselves as they are on the pistol. On the T side, looking to aggress. 3 players over on the A side. Bomb has been dropped just outside of B. Next to get right. Astralis with pretty standard play themselves. Not playing for the retake, interestingly enough. A lot of teams will go for that, but wanting to stand their ground for now. They do have a kid and a smoke for Karrigan. NIP pretty much just holding on right now. They're maybe waiting for a potential peek and Astralis to give themselves away. Speaking of which, Kirby in mid has spotted himself a couple of NIP aggressors. It's going to be down to Dupree to try and hold this one off, but in the meanwhile, there's going to be so many players pushing up mid now from NIP, and in the meanwhile, they're also hiding outside of the B side. So still not pulling the trigger, even though they got the first kill. There has been equalized back from Astralis. Karrigan behind the site is going to be waiting. Here comes the push. The green light has been pushed from NIP, and the headshot comes in from Device. Actually, carrying on the back of the site is still alive through the smoke. He's going to land the headshot onto Get Right. Meanwhile, Kirby tees off with a frag, and there's Device again.
Oh my gosh, the rotates come in and save Astralis from losing that round. Actually, 3 players alive, even though they were able to isolate the 1 player from Astralis on B site. They had a great start to the round, right? We had Forrest run the distraction at mid. They're able to kill a player at mid. I mean, that's a free kill considering they basically just wanted to pull at least 1 player out of B, and then they hit the site. Everything went perfectly, and the rotates came in from Astralis and just headshots to close it out.
Heavy rifle investment from Astralis. 4 for masses, 1 UMP. Saw this catch out a couple teams yesterday. Kirby is going to get caught with his grenade out. Grenade does land by the feet of NIP, does significant damage to Pit. Pit and Forrest, though, are there for frags. Now it's all on the FAMASes. Astralis trailed by 2 players, but they have the utility and the weaponry to fend this push off, you have to feel. Especially considering that 4 players find themselves below half hit points.
Worse for wear at this moment. Yeah. Are picking the right site, though. Karrigan, big job on his hands.
First kill comes down for Karrigan. He's going to need to do 1 better, and he's not going to be able to live up to the task, meaning that B is now ripe for the taking. NIP will charge through onto the site. Get Right's going to be holding the angle with the Eagle. Can he land on 1 tap? Yes, he can! Zipnix gets crushed, and he's maybe teeing off for a second. Not quite. Let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. There's still a beautiful 1 tap. Now Device in a 1v3. Doesn't have a kit, doesn't have a lot of opportunity. You have to feel with his crossfire that is being set down from the ninjas. And to make matters worse, Exist is lining up the shot, misses it, actually doesn't even tag Device. It doesn't matter though, because the time itself is an enemy. Effectively a 1v4 at this point for Device.
Truly no chance that he can win here. Morale destroying round from NIP. Stealing all those guns, getting mid-control so quickly. Getting the bomb down, keeping 1 alive though. Device hanging onto this FAMAS.
Looks like he will keep it, but as he said, the damage has been done in the round anyway. 4 weapons taken away, 3 of which were FAMASes, 1 a UMP. So Astralis now will be going right back into another force.
And as we say, a better way to start the half, rather than just winning the pistol, winning the force up on the 2nd round. That feels good. That's going to put NIP in a great headspace, knowing that this is a map that they should dominate on.
They will be favorites to take the first map, but Dupree's landed the first 1 tap. Meanwhile, Karrigan straight through the smoke. This could catch NIP unawares if they're not too careful. Karrigan holding the angle, but there's Freiburg skill ill. Will silence any shenanigans. NIP regain the player advantage. 2 Deagles FAMAS, the state of play for Astralis, and that's going to have to come down to a sick individual performance, you have to feel, or a massive fail from NIP. They're in prime position in round 3 now.
Yeah, it looks like they've done a good job recovering from the damage. They've regained mid-control. They know that no one's pushed. And here they can take their time, keep their distance. Try to take more favorable fights, but the posturing from the CTs and the terrorists is over towards B. Astralis have a hint of this.
Out of all the remaining players, fast bulk over B. The only player that's not over here is Zipnix, and he is getting closer next to Connector. So it looks like we're going to have all remaining 7 players butting heads at the B-bomb side. Dupree on headshot, lives up to its name for the 1 tap onto Forrest, but he's going to go down. Freiburg and Assist coming for kills and leaving Zipnix now in the 1v3 with a Deagle. He's got a kit, but nothing else. No flashes, nothing to get himself onto the site with. And speaking of flashbangs, they're landing in his face time and time again.
Both teams looking absolutely lethal with their frags, and some good damage dealt on this round. You know, Astralis deciding to buy up in light of losing that previous one. And it could be worthwhile if they do significant damage. Oh, there's a third 1-dig on this round.
Yeah, so many 1-digs, but it's not enough for Astralis. Zipnix wants to keep the dig, wants to keep the Kevlar. He will be backing away, and IP will take the lead. So Astralis, after picking up the pistol round, have conceded the next two with bomb explosions. And as a result of their forced by launders, they are into an eco.
Zypex actually comes away with that AK. That's a big save. I think he's found one. Is that correct? Maybe not. No.
No, he didn't. He's got a deal only. Does mean he can drop that and get a P250, so have an extra pistol as opposed to nothing. I guess you've got to look at the positives where you can.
Glass is half full, of course.
Yes, absolutely. Heavy stack from Astralis on the A side. Carrigan, the only player that's not going to be filling in the lines for the Danes. So we're going to see a run boost, which was a bit of a derp.
Not so much, yeah. And again, just a stringent default from NIP here. Waiting for pushes. It's up to Astralis to try to make something happen. They can sit in a site, but it won't exactly be favorable versus Molotovs, smokes, meticulous angle clearing.
NIP certainly have been meticulous, having threat behind them. Calling some of the shots, having his say, 2 SMGs into the round for the farm. They know what Astralis are weakened, they can sense it. Again, posturing though, not going for broke, not putting themselves into a poor position. Carrigan, who was over towards the B side, now filters through onto connector, realizing, hearing the Molotovs connecting, is now going to be coming to have a quick peek. There's not a great deal he's going to do with the P2000, and down he goes. And you assume down Astralis go in round 4.
And the read is bad. They have a free site to themselves. They're going to be able to get a plant. Not only that, but they're going to be able to avoid losing any more members of their team. Astralis getting 3 kills last round. Could mean so much more if they were able to complement it with 2 more. And the run boost into heaven from Forrest with the MAC-10. He's going to happily look to clean up some... Never mind. I take it all back. Wow.
It was looking so good up until the Deagle. Bullet landed between his eyes. And he's like, mistakes were made.
How Dupree even reacts to that shot is beyond me.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Slick play though, and that will keep Astralis on their tiptoes going forward, knowing that Nip have that strat to bust out later on.
Absolutely.
Didn't work on this occasion, but of course Nip have the round regardless. Didn't cost them anything really.
Yeah, just the MAC-10 on Forrest, yeah. Nothing big right there.
Expendable, right?
Yeah.
AK easily replenished into this round.
In fact, it's close to absolutely valueless. They're just going to ditch it. I mean, this round, it's going to be a full buyout for Astralis. They've got, actually, it's Device to pick up a UMP. Seems like they bought to broke too, so if he's got full nades, I mean, that's all he could afford.
Lack of head armor on Dupree, Carrigan, and Kierby, so the Freiburg's MP7 could very well prove to still be a terror for Astralis. Of course, the entry fragger as well, expecting him to take point for the team. Get right in the meanwhile, though, lurking as ever. Peering across into checkered, no one's home. Astralis more with a deep passive defense on B, setting up the crossfire. With both Carrigan and Device sitting in, with the aforementioned UMP as well. So this could be a little bit of a hindrance to Astralis if Get Right can get himself into a decent enough position to strike.
No, Astralis have already forfeited so much important map control. Having Checker is having the B split, right? This is a site with only 1 choke point, but if you have Checker, you have 2. So, not only that, but mid is actually given up, so going here is for free.
A lot of real estate picked up from an IP, but can they execute and take the round? This would be a body blow for Astralis to still not quite stabilized. Get Right's in the perfect position, land the first headshot, somehow still alive as well. He will finally get charged down from the UMP. Device nearly good for a second. Gearbeat comes in to pick that one up onto Exist, and a second as well. The great hold from Astralis. It was looking so poor when Get Right opened up for the first. Now a 3-on-2. Bomb will be getting planted from Freiburg, who's traded off the MP7 for an AK. Nice shot from Forest from behind. And now a one-dimensional retake coming from lower. Freiburg's going to use the smoke to his advantage for now. Second smoke comes out. This is starving Astralis a valuable time. They've got the kit, but not much else. And come through heaven, where Freiburg and Forest will be laid in wait. Forest with the spray, doesn't get on the first time of asking, but the second. Now Kirby, the newest recruit to Astralis, what can he get done from here? He still seems to think that somebody is lurking on the site, and Forest picks up a third.
Dang.
Beautiful work. NIP have broken Astralis once again.
A lot of good discipline there from NIP on those peaks. Forrest to pick up that flank kill was nail in the coffin, right? He shut it down, made it a 2v2, had the big flank taken out, and that meant that Astralis were retaken from some of the harder spots. There it is, that headshot. And that discipline on that peak, not committing too hard to one shot in those flames, wow.
Just when Astralis were looking to build their way back into the map, they have been well and truly gutted in terms of economy. Get right. Once again, opening up, breaks the deadlock, lifts this round in NIP's favor. Dupree has a deagle. Only has a deagle, anything's possible, it seems. Some of the shots he lands are absolutely nuts. Pit, flashbang to the forehead. Actually hasn't landed any damage on the Pit. I think it was Dupree that went looking. Kirby, in the meanwhile, has dropped. NIP looking good for a fifth. He's got a whole lot better as well with Forest. Bomb still dropped out in mid. He's to control for mid. Another frag comes in. And Device, the last man standing over on B with his CZ.
Get Right's entire job was keep them in check at B, make sure no one pushes. But at this point, all they need to do is group. He wants to be closer to his teammates in this situation, just so that if they need him, he can clutch. That's not going to be a problem, but as you can see, just sticking to the form. Important to have routines.
Nice reaction speed from Device, just the aim wasn't quite there with him. He'd have loved to have taken an AK into the next round. Astralis would have been bolstered with their economy, but again, due to the fact that they have lost the last 5 rounds now, full round loss coming in, it's going to be the first op for Carrigan.
You know as well as I do, Vince, this game isn't over until it's over.
Oh, absolutely not.
Astralis are very good at adjustments, right? Adaptation is the hallmark of a top team, and both these teams having so much experience together. They've been here 5-1 and had comebacks go in either Pierce's favor.
What I would say though, on a map like Cash, this is where NIP very rarely stutter and falter. You know, so strong, and Get Right again, just pushing through. No respect shown, no fear whatsoever. Entry frags the way of NIP, 2-for-1 trade. Now Carrigan's AWP feel is going to have to be an instrument of death for Astralis if they want any hope in round 7.
Absolutely mutilated at B. The trade through the smoke, I mean, you cannot plan for that. Freiburg lining it up perfectly. You know, the posturing of the offense over towards a site that they visited much less. B has been given a lot of attention. One anti-eco has been spent clearing out the A site. Zipic's in a spot to get smoked out, typically. There it comes.
As you say, the smoke has landed. Can't see a single thing trying to spam through the trajectory of NIP's aggressors, but nothing connecting today. Bomb will be getting planted, boost up on quad. And distinct lack of utility for Astralis. Typically, you'd like to incendiary at the back of quad, try and get rid of this pesky position, but there's no hope. Astralis are going to have to come through the smoke if they want to retake the site for now. A 3-on-4 with full AK-47s, crossfire set up. It's not looking good. And I think they've thought the exact same thing, and they're like, screw this. Let's just get away. Let's keep these weapons. Let's not throw away the weapons we have. Bounce back in round 8. But this is slipping away slowly but surely from Astralis. NIP looking in command.
Having those 2 kills so early is just such a big deal, especially a team who knows how to work it. You see the pacing on those grenades on the A site. I mean, the usage of resources was just notable from NIP. It seemed like if there was anyone in the site at the time, they would have had no chance. And another dominant win on a rifle round from NIP. They've got so much money across the board, aren't even losing enough members to have one person low.
Yep.
Off in the hands of Kerrigan, though.
Everyone over 4.8k.
Yeah.
So
it's a good place to be.
Astralis are going to have to break a couple of rounds. As a result of their triple save, they can drop weapons and get another healthy buy. But remember, no rifle rounds won so far longer, so that doesn't necessarily fill you with too much confidence. Just the pistol picked up for Astralis, and since then, one-way traffic with the Swedes behind the wheel. Karrigan may think about peeking. No one home for Nip as of yet. They're giving nothing away.
Because of the loss bonus, they have a stake in every single round if they so choose to buy, but at a certain point, if they don't convert 2 in a row, it's going to be far too late.
That's exactly it. That's the curse of the counter-terrorists. Even if they win, they have to get 2 or 3 rounds, you have to feel, especially at this kind of deficit. Otherwise, it could very well go into hopeless territory. Forest up on boost. Here comes Freiburg. Does spot the player. Then he's hit next. He lands the frag, but eats a lot of damage for his troubles. Down to 6. Meanwhile, his partner in crime up on the boost. And Forest goes down to Dupree. Lands his double. Much better from Astralis. Hit and get right. Right in mid. Has Pit just behind him. They have control over the bomb, but only 35 seconds to play with. Molly a bit too deep. Dupree's holding the closer angle. Get right, realizes CT somewhere around mid for now. Gonna go for the peek, gets picked off from Dupree, 3rd kill. And can he get a 4th? No, Pit is gonna ruin the party, but again, the time is so low that Pit has to charge straight through onto Bean. It's gonna be into the embracing arms of Device. 2nd round for Astralis, but we spoke about this before, Launders. You have to convert round 9 as well.
Yeah, now they did hang on to the op, they kept 3 players alive, but here's Astralis looking to make it competitive, right? Overall, they did a really good job handling Nip. I love that play from Freiburg to take that peek out of mid, right? Make the player playing close left really nervous, and then bait him into peeking. And looking for that trade, but it wasn't enough. The rest of Astralis really stepped up that round. Now, Ace site looks like it's going to be taken quite quickly.
Oh no, this could bode so poorly for Astralis. They only have Karrigan, Zorp, and Zipnik's on the car. However, Highway is quickly moving into position, and Karrigan picking up the 1st kill, alleviating so much pressure. He's missed the 2nd. It's going to cost him his life. But here comes Zipnik's with a quick fire triple. Awesome work with the M4. Leaving Exist, and his AK, 34 health left. Dupree through the smoke. Much better from Astralis, only losing the AWP, but it's got picked up anyway. So Karrigan will have it again.
Everyone really pitched in there, especially Zipix. Now, getting that first frag from Karrigan is huge. 5v4 instantly, op still on site. That allows your teammates to have some leeway to rotate in. But Zypex, what a good friend to have on Highway, getting those trades immediately.
Yeah, 3 kills, one of which was partially through the red container, I believe. Very well played, but we are going to see the first AWP now in the hands of NIP. We decide maybe a switch up of pace is required. Get right. Back to hyper-aggression. Device could have the drop on him. He's going to be coming through with a flash. You can clearly see Get Right has no idea what's coming up against him. Device with a quick fire too now. Nice shot from Forrest, gets his 2nd of the round. In fact, his 1st, pardon me. It was Get Right that got the 1st. However, NIP still find themselves a player behind. Device is now shifted his way up aggressively, but that's going to cost him dearly as Forrest connects the nice AWP frag. 2-on-2.
Such good awareness, and now we're evened up. That was a direct call out from Astralis to commit that extra person to B. Rarely do you see Get Right completely unaware that a player might be around the angle that he could clear.
Device just being so unpredictable in that case. Astralis have played very passive on B, not even holding check-in most of the time. You see Get Right had no idea what was coming up against him. Forrest down to 12 as a result of the confrontation with Device earlier on. Zipnik's now holding the close angle, and he could be in the money. If NIP just charge right out without using any of this utility, he is going to pick up kills. The barrel of the gun betrays Forrest. But Pit now, the adhesive glue, as they were talking about on the desk, not necessarily going to drop the top frags, but he needs to come big for NIP, and he's been picked off from Kirby, who was very briskly moving up behind from A main. We'll get the defuse. Astralis with a 4th, but they lose 4 weapons.
4 weapons, yeah, but they put the round on the board. They've got the 3 in a row now, and the first 1v1 of the match goes to Kirby over Pit. Both the new members of each team. And at this point, you know, this is a brand new game, right? Getting the 2 in a row is huge, but this really has earned them a new lifeline. They've actually deteriorated Nip's money. They've got a Galil on Forest, Tech9 on Freiburg. They might actually earn themselves a save here. Opportunity to even up off of this round.
That's exactly it, and this is why we said at 5-1 behind, it's not over just yet. Astralis, all they have to do is win this round, which is easier said than done, of course, but win it convincingly, and NIP likely will be giving them up to 6. Look at this cheekiness from Get Right. He's going to use the vent to his advantage. They're not expecting a beautiful headshot. Nearly spins around onto Dupree, but he's going to go for the reload. He's gone into the smoke, and Forrest saw that. He picks up his 11th frag. Meanwhile, Kirby now fills in the blanks through Checkit, bringing us back to equality. Freiburg only with the Tech9. But all 3 NIP players decide, okay, let's aggress onto A instead. B is a little bit too stacked.
Wow, weren't even worried about Truck there. Knew that they could have the site. Now we've got a 3v3 situation. Oh, that Molotov's going to do a ton of damage. 28 HP for Forest. Again, 3v3. Low utility, however, for Astralis. We've got a lot of fragging to do.
They had 1 flash, and they've just used it. However, Forest has gone down. The top fragger for NIP. Hit on quad with Freiburg's Tech9 in A main. Hit's given his position away. Nice burst frag goes down for him. Nearly a second. So close yet so far. Astralis will get the 5th. And with this bomb plant, NIP may have some options, but they are pretty much going to be onto a Galil, I assume, for Exist. The rest of the team can get AKs, though.
These two teams truly are heavyweights, and Kirby's coming in with these key frags at moments. That trade inside of B really changes the round around, and it's, you know, great reads on the side of the CTs. And even though, you know, they're adjusting, NIP are, with diligence, picking sites at the right moments. You know, they had a very good advantage going into that 3v3 bomb down, all their favorite angles to hold, but Astralis still managed to do it. Great tenacity from this team.
So tactical pause for NIP after Astralis have picked up 4 in a row, bringing us back to a 5-6. Again, NIP can buy into this round if they so choose. It would be at the cost of an AWP. That being said, they're known for not necessarily needing AWPs, especially on T sides of maps like Cache.
It can really slow you down, right?
True.
And with all the structure being added to NIP's playbook now, we have, if you were to put an AWP up and have to blow 30 seconds of the round, hoping that it gets a frag. I mean, you could do that if you had an aggressive enough player, but if you have 5 rifles and a solid game plan, the AWP can just really be a hindrance, right? If you want to take a site quickly, you kind of have to wait for him to get in place. Maybe he holds you back because he sees an opportunity that never comes. A lot of great reasons to not buy it. Also, you have more buy rounds in total if you don't spend that 47.50 on AWP.
And in NIP's 6-round killing spree, most of those rounds, I believe, were with just full-on AKs. Just charging into sites, taking a lot of entry frags, and then converting. Forrest, I think, had a knock once, maybe, and I think he got 2 kills with it. He is 11 for 7 at this point, top fragging, 1 ahead of Kirby, who's 10 for 5.
Now, if I were to watch this game back and I wanted to see how NIP got those first 6 rounds, I think the first thing I would look at is how they were able to control B. Right, Get Right working it by himself or even with his teammates. They found new ways to enter the site that allowed them to get a lot of free frags, honestly. Checker control constantly, 2 kills for 1 quite often. A huge reason why they've been able to win rounds.
So the answer has been given from NIP. It's full AKs with grenades behind it. They will be aggressing into the round. Able to get an AK drop to Freiburg, so to Exist, pardon me. So it's not going to be a case of anybody struggling too bad. But here we go. They're going to be aggressing. It looks like, again, Get Right working on B. Did such a good job earlier in Checkit. Since then, Astralis have filled that gap. So they've adapted themselves. They've evolved on their CT side.
Now, again, seems like Astralis very comfortable with giving up mid. Putting the op at me might be a great adjustment. Something to catch Kerrigan off guard. And oh, the frag isn't given up, though. Get Right takes his time. Shoulder peeks the angle, and now they have a lot of info.
Also throwing a Molotov, so it stands to reason that Kerrigan would still be in Checkit, not wanting to eat too much damage in case there were multiple players on B. So a little bit of information. Of course, that's now subsided. He's had more than enough time to scamper out to Checkit if he so choose. IP, though, down to 3 smokes and 3 flashes. Still a lot of time to play with. Again, mid-control given up from Astralis, not too interested in trying to funnel this one out. I say that as Kibi actually peeks through and gets the cheeky frag, accompanied by a flashbang. A second one lands.
Yeah, another absolutely critical kill.
Vital importance for Astralis. Get the kill pretty much for clean. 26 health lost in the process. They'll take that trade every day of the week. That being said, though, now Exist had the opportunity to maybe take down Quad. The Knicks, in the meanwhile, spamming through smoke. Flashes are landing in the faces of the terrorists. Freiburg now bursting out for us with a frag, but in the blink of an eye, Astralis put down the hammer. A 6th round for them, 5 in a row, and after the pause from an IP.
Yeah, the pincer move fails. I mean, they tried to aggress onto A, except not just with A main control and Squeaky, as they were used to seeing. Instead, they did take mid, work up highway, and this can be very dangerous at the point that you get to closet. But Astralis holds strong. I mean, and again, Kirby getting those 2 frags, just super critical. High impact frags from him.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Launders. Is this the first half buy/eco that we've seen from an IP?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they've earned it finally.
Well, finally, the economy has been broken. Get right, just with the drive-by 1 tap. Here comes the Tech 9 as well. And IP bouncing back with a vengeance. Gets right. Is running more kills. Not done just yet. But the action comes to a standstill. And with the amount of utility that Astralis have, maybe this is still on for them.
Freiburg committed there to getting a kill. Couldn't do it, and they give up the rifle.
Oh, Pits. That's tasty. And Get Right again. The quintessential lurker. Flanks around the side, puts down Carrigan, and now Device has so many angles to be weary of. First kill is going to go his way, and then Pick with another one, Deke. The clarity of mind to go for the wraparound there.
Yes. They had A main pushed and cleared. They realized that, yes, it's a 4v3, but we've got 2 Tech 9s. A rifle just went down. We're not going to win this hold with just Tech 9s too easily. Decided to try to get the flank kill. It works out beautifully.
So
Even if
sorry, go ahead.
Even if Get Right was just there making noise and fell off, you know, how off-kiltered would you be knowing that there's someone behind you at all times?
Just as we were saying as well, that NIP finally broken their economy. Well, they just run on out with 1 Deeks and Impact Brownies Astralis. That being said, the aggressive push-up mid does catch NIP off guard. We haven't seen this too often from Astralis. Typically giving up mid control completely. It's still in this round after landing a couple of tasty 1 taps, and there's the EpicHeadShot. Keeping the dream alive for now for an IP, but Astralis will have a couple of harsh words to say about that. Up on catwalk, the flashes are connecting. Forest now comes in with the AWP. 1 minute and 10. Mind games can be played if needs be, but with the smoke and a lot of this utility now being committed onto the site, you better believe it's going to be a bomb plant from an IP.
Ooh, good flashbang.
Flashes, mollies connecting. Forest now with the AWP, close range, not necessarily where he'd want it, but Astralis still haven't pulled the trigger on this retake. Only a smoke left and a flash. Pop flash connects in Forest face. Close range, no scope connects. Device is still alive. It's all down to Forest. He's very low. He gets picked off, and Device is going to get this clutch. He has enough time even without the kit. 7-7. It all hinges on this round to see who will take the lead going through into the second pistol.
Both clutches so far in this game gone Astralis' way. Another tie game, and we're on to the last round. Amazing 4-frag from Device. Great retake. NIP almost pulling off the 2v4 there. Off the back of Pith and Forest. So now they've got it quite a tattered buy. I mean, actually 3 Pyjamas in the hands of Astralis. A true battle of attrition at this moment, isn't it?
Yeah, the economic game of chicken, but I guess with it being the last round, you go for broke anyway. Astralis, 3 for masses, AWP, M4. Haven't really seen Carrigan's AWP do a great deal of work so far, and he's been in this position before. Missed out on the opportunity last time. Get Right having the deke, but he's already gave Astralis the D a few times today. Carrigan is going to land the first, but not any more from this confrontation. Device is all that stands on the site now for Astralis, but we'll be keeping them at bay a few more seconds with the carpet of fire that's been placed down so perfectly. Get Right again. Opening up the site, going to peer towards Vent, misses the shot, but information gained nonetheless.
Oh my god, huge amount of control right now. Players stranded. There's someone in checker assuming that B-side is being held, and another at mid that has no idea what the plan is. All of CT is covered right now. A bad rotate could end it all for Astralis. Oh man, you can see how anxious they are. So curious at the moment as to what's going on.
Kind of have to be though, right? With this kind of
Absolutely.
time, 3-on-2, you're desperate for information. Just desperate for a bit of scouting to go your way. Just a sound, just a millimeter of vision, a pixel. None of it being given away from the ninjas. Dupree has taken matters into his own hands. He's gone for the full-on rotation, up round the back. At this point, they pretty much know it's going to be an A-plant. And there we go, it has been confirmed. So what do they do with this information? They have an incendiary, they have 2 assault rifles, a flash and a kit, but Nip have the numbers. Get right with the orb. Back on quad. The passive retake positions have been assumed. Not expecting the double quad stack. Leaves it next now on a 1-on-2. We've seen the last 2 clutches go the way of Astralis, but not this one. Pit is going to put it down on quad. 8-7, NIP will lead at halftime. This game, though, well and truly still open.
Yeah, after a fantastic start from NIP, right, to steal the second round and then run away with it, Astralis to make those adjustments, come back, pull off both clutches that we saw happen, and put together a nice 5-round streak and then go trade for trade with Nip, resulting in the closest half you could ask for. Who does that favor? It's hard to say, right? Cash is a map that can go either way.
Absolutely, yeah. 8-7 tells you really nothing. If you have just joined us, you may not realize is that NIP had this map in their hands. They were 5-1 up, 6-1 up actually at one point. Then we saw Astralis come back with 4 rounds. A tactical pause was called. Then Astralis got the next one. So NIP could have very well ran away with that first half. I'm wondering if that's going to be playing into the back of their minds. Of course, finishing with a 2v1 clutch is always going to settle those nerves a little bit. Going to get you back on track, but Astralis certainly still in this.
To chase the lead here, grab a pistol, potentially put 3 in a row on the board. Certainly not losing versus a force-up after this one.
So we saw NIP flirting around mid for a good minute or so before doing anything. How will Astralis decide to aggress? Bomb has been dropped just outside of A main. So a declaration of intent from Astralis. They're not going to want to charge through anytime soon. They do have a lot of utility to play with. Smoke and 2 flashes. Decoys as well if they want to try and play the mind games.
Really nice on Cash to sit and wait for pushes. So common for USPs to try to get aggressive outside of B via mid, even with a squeaky push early round on the pistol. And so could be very fruitful. Just the default no matter what you plan to do on T side every round if you like. And eventually we'll see. We could tell by where the bomb is placed, where the intention of Astralis is to take it. They would follow frags if they were to come to them, but NIP not giving them an inch.
That's exactly it. Astralis were hoping for a little bit of advantage to be gift wrapped across, but NIP are having none of it. Stack through highway and mid, so retake is always on. If that smoke connects, which it has, onto highway. This will funnel off Exist. And his partner in crime on catwalk. What a one-tap that is from Exist, and he's hoping that he gets another one on the cross. A spot most players will pre-fire when the smoke is down. However, the bomb goes and gets planted on A. Boost up from Get Right.
Knows how important his position is right here. Taking his time.
Get Right could very well be the linchpin. If this retake is on the cards, it's going to probably come from Get Right's hands. He has got to make this work. First headshot comes down, and now you can see Astralis can't be too sure of anything. They have to watch so many different angles, and it's all going to be down to Device, and he can't get it. A flawless retake from an IP. All 5 players alive. And that is a statement.
Yeah, absolutely. An extremely clean retake, and that's going to be their best friend in this game. If they're able to play A lightly, and we have the NIP chant coming out, recognizing how important that was. Astralis' opportunity to even up once again, but now NIP have a 2-round differential with a huge advantage economically. Getting ever so close to sealing up their map pick.
Astralis will be definitely weary and shaky a little bit, but again, it's the CT's economy. He's always away, back in. And he'll be favourites to take at least a 10-7 lead. P250s in play for Astralis after the bomb plant, which suggests AK's maybe into the next round. But Pits from Ass is doing work once again.
always the temptation to force up when you're at such a disadvantage and then you lose the pistol round. Here we have a situation where you have the tightest half possible. A lot of reasons to save.
Nice damage inflicted onto Get Right. Just a shame it's just a P250. Device with a beautiful headshot onto Exist. Could very well, I was going to say maybe Carrigan just goes for the cheeky full plant instead, but went for the kill. Get Right, put him down with his M4. And Astralis now, as a result of their previous save with P250s, it's going to be a case. So a bolstered up attack. However, NIP don't have any weak weapons themselves. It's not like they're running with a few SMGs. They're full assault rifles too.
Great job making presence on all these angles from Get Right. Not taking too many fights to themselves in the same way.
10 assault rifles, plenty of grenades. Game well and truly back on. Astralis are the first to feel how painful war can be. Dupree loses 20 health.
Oof. A key player right here, T-side. We'll have to compliment his impact on CT as well. We saw how deadly Get Right was up from here. Again, the power is that you're able to shoot feet on players that aren't expecting you. You get that info first. If he gets called out, he's in an awkward spot, but before that, A is really fortified at this moment.
A concern for NIP is they only have flashbangs on their utility belt. It's going to be quite hard to fend off any positions for retakes if they do come in. That could be something in the back of their minds. They've got the full defuse kits. Look at that damage though inflicted on mid. Kirby and Dupree both get wrecked.
They're almost out of this round. I mean, this is a game of rifles, right? They don't have an op to look forward to maybe missing and them getting the trade. Very worse for wear. Ooh, yeah, nice trade from Device.
Good for one kill, but as you say, a good trade. The problem is going to remain though, that Dupree and Kirby only with 23 health between the two of them. Correction, just 18 as Kirby has put 6 foot under. And Exist can hear movement behind him on highway. He's trying to hold down 3 separate angles, and I'll say that was a brave attempt, and now Pick comes in with a FAMAS.
Fantastic spray control there. Came close to dying. Almost became a 1v1 situation, but there it is. NIP to seal up another rifle round to start off the half. Starting off strong has been important for them. The issue for Astralis is the deficit they have to work back from. Rounds in a row early on is the easiest way to cause a save to the team that's losing.
Astralis have, in fairness to them, done quite a bit of economic damage themselves. 3 players low on funds, Forest on 2.3k, so it just takes a couple of big rounds from Astralis, and IP will be back to the drawing board, economically speaking.
The issue is that once they have this round, if they aren't to lose too many players, right, they don't have armored opponents, they shouldn't, then their economy really gets to be in a good place. So.
Right, yeah. Ooh, Device had a glimmer of hope, a small opportunity with the Deagle. It was asking a lot, not able to answer the call. Carrigan, P250 in hand. Decent attempt, A for effort, but he's dead nonetheless. NIP would have been firm favourites of the weaponry, and so far they are certainly looking to execute on that. Pitt with 2 in mid. Could very well be a third. He's about to be faced from Zip Nixon. Indeed, he will connect the dots. 4 kills for Pitt in the round, 12-7. NIP have a 5-round lead, but Astralis coming right back in with another buy.
He takes the frag lead in this game. We see Forrest is still just as on form as he has been this past month. And it's another rifle round. One of the few opportunities Astralis have left to get back into this. 5 AKs in their hands. Similar to the buy that we saw on NIP. Full utility this time. Won't be running out of resources too early.
Astralis, heavy emphasis over on the A side, setting up for the smokes. And judging from the locations right now, London, this looks like it could be a fast A take. Trying to shift things up, but look at Get Right. He's in a position to strike again. Lands the first one to Zipnix, but his position is known. And look at how quickly Astralis just flew out onto the site. The fluidity is here. Kirby with 1. Forrest is going to land himself the frag with the fire. And now it's down to Carrigan. And Kirby making just Kirby, and he can't get it done. Freiberg comes in with Forrest. NIP will pick up a 13th, and Astralis are having no success on their T half whatsoever.
No, very comfortable on A site. That retake was just so good. And Get Right getting away with being boosted once again. 2 rounds in a row. Goes 1 for 1. I mean, Astralis deal with them well, but it's not enough. And the crowd is starting to taste that victory.
Must be such a rough situation to be in from Astralis. You battle back to an 8-7 half-time. Fair enough, you are trailing, but then 5 rounds back-to-back and pretty convincing victories at that for NIP.
Money's good now. Astralis are going to have buys in a row if they'd like. But again, they lose this round, and if they decide to buy next, it's going to be a much weaker one. NIP still haven't shown them that they want to opt. They have options, right? They can keep those in their pockets. They needn't make any adjustments until Astralis show them that they're ready to make it competitive. NIP can just continue to do what works. They've got at least 3-4 more rounds maybe before Astralis figure out how to break this defense. Stalwart at the moment.
NIP's perspective, probably just pretty chilled. Don't need to change a great deal. They've looked solid. Their retake's been on point.
Yeah.
Pit 20 for 10, a player that you don't normally expect to see at the top of the scoreboard, but he's been certainly providing some sick fragging. Alongside Forest, who's been consistently up there since the beginning. Get Right's made some huge frags. Great lurking, especially on the T side when he was going into Checkered and over on the B side.
Yeah, insane impact. I mean, Kirby's been there, but you know, on T side, he's going to have to meet up with that impact as well. He has got that aim.
And on the side of Astralis, Device has had some huge plays, especially on the CT side for him, but really nothing of note. When the roles have been reversed over on the T side, there's no one that's really stood out for me for Astralis.
Definitely. Now again, we look at the formula for success for NIP in the first half, right? Paying a lot of attention to B early on, winning in their default, and Astralis in these previous 2 rifle rounds have committed a lot of attention to focusing down a site. Maybe it's in their best interest to give some attention to mid first, try that again, and work from there. Get an early pick before they hit something.
So, second pause of the first map has came and gone. Game back on. NIP 13-7 in the lead, have had a flawless CT side. And Astralis start to bounce back. Mid-presence in effect from NIP. Oh, Exist gets completely wrecked from Dupree, but Freiburg up in the vents. We'll get the better of Dupree afterwards, not expecting it. Get Right again.
Oh,
he's lurking, cue the Jaws music. There's 2 or 3 players that push straight past him. They're not going to expect him to be there. And he's biding his time, waiting. You can hear the bomb's about to get planted. Get Right. He's not really budged an inch. He's trying to use this position to its utmost effect. He sees Carrigan. He's going to wait. First kill comes down. Now the call will come through the quad. Will feature a terrorist, and there comes the second kill. Device now out in no man's land. The bomb's planted for A, and he's going to go towards B, so he's got absolutely no hope of stopping this. The bomb gets defused.
Yeah, absolutely no options there. He was relying on his teammates to do a lot more work for him, and it wouldn't happen. I mean, Get Right, the trigger patience there, just to sit in A main, wait for the plan, realizing that he has the perfect position to retake from. Knows that it's so common, especially with someone outside of A main, for someone to cross to forklift or just have their back turned to a spot that they just came out of. I mean, they had good reason to believe that it was clear, but no. They hadn't found Get Right, and I think they needed to be more worried about that.
Oh, Forest, the first and almost last line of defense has been picked off with ease. Kirby, Dupree, Device, all chiming in for kills, leaving Freiburg and Pit in a 2-on-4. Will be a pretty tasty clutch if they can get this done. Great shot from Device once again. Good round by Astralis. Pit may be waiting for the exits. Did briefly see Get Right's dad cheering his son on in the crowd, as most of the crowd are as well, to be fair. We are on Swedish soil after all. And Pit didn't really have a hope. Astralis finally have got themselves on the board, so the tactical pause seemingly finally has paid off.
That's really the first time that they gave any attention to B, and it turns out that it's converted themselves and allowed them to put a rifle round on the board off a straight-up rush. Now, that's not a strategy you can do every single round. NIP will quickly adjust. Astralis, realizing this, are going to look to strengthen the moves that they can make and change it up. But you know, after winning mid, they have to have a new strategy, and there it is. Dupree making it 5v4, gets the first frag. Mid's clear. And this is something we haven't seen from Astralis.
Not really, but look at Forrest's position. He's going to be pushing around the back again, so this is vital information, and if Astralis don't get a move on, Forrest could be the man. Very similar to what we've seen from Get Right a few times. Looks like the charge is imminent, though, from Astralis. Device connects the headshot, but there's Freiburg as well. Get Right just again, hiding, waiting in the wings, baiting out Freiburg, but in the best possible way. Actually misses out on his shot, and Nix puts him down. Now it's all on to the flank of Forrest, who was hoping there'd be some players to charge him with him. 15 health. 1v2 remaining. Second frag is going to connect. He doesn't know where the final player is. It's going to be Dupree, who's edging round the red containers ever so slowly. They're going to be each other, and Dupree just about holds on. It would have been a crazy clutch by Forrest, but instead Astralis get a second.
Just to think, Astralis have 3 out of 3 clutches so far. 1v1's 1, and yet NIP have a 5-round lead still, with help of their pistols. But Astralis are right back into this. They did convert another round. Excellent entry from Dupree to take mid control.
Yeah.
And then working from there to take A very clean, even though NIP got that information, as you pointed out, that is, on Forrest pushing B main.
Could be a gimme round for Astralis. Just pistols, NIP. Being in deep. They have been found out, and they have been crushed. Bomb planted momentarily. A hail of fire goes up into heaven. NIP have some Deagles to play with. Again, not likely to go for this retake, just waiting. Hoping that Astralis give them a couple of weapons to take through into round 25.
One thing that NIP haven't tried to do is if Astralis do give attention to mid early on, it is them to kind of avoid a squeaky presence in their default, or have been at least. Isn't something they can expect every time, but NIP have a really good squeaky push. And if they were to pull that off versus mid control and decided to give it up, instead of risking a 1-for-1 trade, or worse yet, just a straight up loss of a player, then they might be able to circumvent that control. But again, Astralis almost into this. They have earned themselves a save. They're right back on track, looking so similar to the first half. Great adjustments being made.
Very true. This is almost a carbon copy of the first half, where NIP take a storming lead. Astralis battle back for dear life. Now, if it is going to follow the script of the first half, then that would suggest that NIP will regain the lead in the next couple of rounds. But NIP go for the force. They have the option of maybe going for a half buy and getting a better investment into the next one, but instead they have a FAMAS, M4s, a few grenades to play with. Molly is going to connect. Freiburg's toes getting a bit toasty. Forrest, in the meanwhile, eats a little bit of damage elsewhere on the map. Looks like Astralis, a full-on split across the board. Still so much time to play with. Doesn't really tell us a great deal, Wonders, but maybe the longer this goes on, the fewer grenades they're going to have. You can see already just 2 flashes and a smoke.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's actually so much utility, as you mentioned. That's such a good point here. They've got such a resource advantage on Astralis. All these smokes can make a huge difference. Sectioning off the sights, and there's a pick that tries to come out, but no. Back is turned from Kirby. Flash goes too far, a pick goes down.
As soon as that flash came through, he had to peek that. You have to try and make one of these very few utilities work for you. Kirby up to the task. Carrigan sliding through the smoke. There's a ninja in there.
Bomb is actually going towards A, though, up highway.
Just Get Right again. I believe he just shot, though, so they're going to know his presence. What are they?
Oh my gosh.
What? Am I going crazy? He did shoot, right?
I don't think so. Maybe he did. I was looking at the
29
map.
bullets left, and I thought I heard the shot, but apparently Astralis couldn't. Get Right with one, only half the battle. He does know that there's likely to be a player coming up from behind. Good game sense, but the aim not quite following it up. Astralis have a real hope, but Forrest, if he continues to connect shots like that, this could get sticky very quickly for Astralis, who now find themselves a player behind. Kirby comes in for another kill. He's looking for the spray. He's not going to get it down. Now it's a 1v1. Most of these have gone the way of Astralis so far. The smoke alongside the defuse kit comes in. Carrigan spawning on the wrong side. Finally correct. Forrest goes down. Astralis win another one.
Another one.
Another one.
Another clutch in the hands of Astralis, the 1v1s. And man, Astralis had such good control of that round up until that point, right? They had ran NIP through a loop there. Had the bomb going up highway, B main control taken. That's the value of having checker, right? Gazing your take. Or guising, excuse me. And another save in the hands of NIP. Oh, let's smoke.
We highlighted before that NIP went in for a buy in the previous round that left them a little bit vulnerable, and now we are seeing the fruits of Astralis' labor. Two Eagles, CZ, certainly enough to throw a spanner in the works for the Danes, one of which is going to live up to the power that Forest possesses, but now exists with an Eagle in his hands. Lands the first and second shots, Kirby and Dupree. Yep, mullered in mid.
He's good.
I mean, it's tasty Counter-Strike, but all things considered, it probably doesn't mean a great deal in the grand scheme of things. Astralis can easily replenish those weapons. It's very unlikely to get a clutch from this situation.
Yeah.
Sorry to be the downer there, but...
Man, Vince. Always so pessimistic.
But to be realistic, exists. Great work. But this round will be going the way of the Danes, barring another couple crazy one-taps.
Indeed. And again, the advantage of starting off strong in each half means that you can make your adjustment later on, right? NIP are getting more and more information. Astralis start to do what works. And ultimately, that early bad start to each half could potentially come back to haunt them. Loss bonus in full effect, one away from match point. The difference can be on any round. If they don't decide to save, they have enough money to do a pretty weak buy. If they save one round, they have full utility and op can make any new adjustment they'd like, and there's the first couple of 1Ds out for exist.
The Ninjas will invest into another orb in the hands of Forest. Heavy med mid presence again. What a shot from Carrigan. Does connect onto the legs of Pitt, so he will live to fight another day, albeit weakened. Staggering a little bit, limping his way through the remainder of round 27. Grenades are there to meet up on the boost. A bit too far behind, only does 13 damage, 14 damage to Dupree.
Oh. They might get the hint that that was an attempted counter boost. Bad flash.
Seemingly Get Right won't get punished for it. Astralis going to put on the brakes for now. Damage being inflicted on both teams. Kirby and Device have eaten quite a bit alongside Pitt from the AWP shot earlier. Astralis, who are looking to go for that fast 8 play again, suddenly deciding, okay, let's just back away for a little bit.
Wow, the gall on Freiburg to actually push through mid after so much pressure had been put on him. This is a huge bit of information he gets after taking that risk.
It's massive.
Lots of damage dealt to both sides. Pith almost out of this round. Kirby, Device low. And Freiburg might be offered up a frag here.
He's sandwiched between two players. 2 kills come down from Freiburg, and he's holding his position. 3rd kill. Beautiful work from Freiburg. Is he going to get any more out of this round? He's done more than enough for his team, but he's going to get a 4th.
A 4th frag, all headshots.
Unbelievable.
Get that point.
Oh my goodness, Freiburg. We mentioned the balls on him to go into the garage, but he walked the walk alongside talking the talk.
Now, this might be a good time to point it out, but in he ended the first half with 5 frags. And look at the pixel-perfect accuracy on these kills. Oh my goodness. And all off of that push. Oh man.
You've got to love it. And he's hungry for more. He wants more bananas.
Oh my god, really?
Down he goes for the trade again. NIP will be smiling upon it. Flash comes out just to allow Zipnix to scurry away back to Device. I was going to say in that previous round as well, there was a couple of issues for NIP. They had very few grenades to play with, so it did take a big player to step up.
Yeah.
And Freiburg was that man.
And suddenly, 2 rounds in a row, Astralis have lost the early round, right? They've given up the first pick, even a second one here, going 2 for 1, or 1 for 2. That's a tough spot to be in. As you see, like, mid control can be taken, but they have to forfeit attention on other parts of the map. This is going to put some doubt in their minds. NIP aren't actually capitalizing on this info, but have a conclave.
Difference between the two teams as well is that NIP have consistently had the likes of Pit going behind sandbags. Astralis very rarely had players in mid, so IP could move through mid with a certain fluidity.
Wow. They can just crush them right here. 3 players on highway, 1 and Z behind them, and there's Pit to get the first kill. Wins the duel versus the off, and
Nexus could be rounding it off, and indeed he will. NIP take cash as we expected. We're 16-12. It was up in the air right till the end though. It was back and forth. But the yo-yo of Counter-Strike went the way of the Swedes.